fair.
Recently in a satsang, during Aksharamana Malai, we spoke about a phenomenon that generally when a person goes through immense pain before coming to spiritual life, it will be very meaningful for such people that God gives you suffering so that the world drops off from you and you turn towards Him. And generally the path to illumination is through such pain, misery. Bhagavata also, it is there, Kunti says, Vipadaha santuna shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yat syada punar bhavadarshanam. Let more and more misery befall me, so that I will not see this samsara again. I know that it is all full suffering. Only you are the reality. Whenever I suffer, I have deeper spiritual experience. So he is putting the jiva in the fire of suffering to purify and to make him attain realization. Somehow the tapas happens. Either the person voluntarily takes to tapas or nature puts him through tapas. So these are the two processes. So that day we were speaking about it, not this much elaborately perhaps. So a small child, so she was sitting there. I will call her Mahishasuramardini. She was sitting there, she was showing her finger like this. Then I asked, what? This is not fair. She was saying, for God this is not fair. That He should not put people through suffering to reach Him.
Those who love God, God will give them more suffering.
Yes. Those who love God or God loves them. Bhagavata, Bhagavan says, whomever I want to take into my fold, I give them suffering. This is a shloka. So, when she heard that, she said, that is not fair. That is not fair. She was showing her hand like this from there, and later on she wrote it and gave it to me. So, then I told there is no answer for her question. Who will go to him and ask? Bhagavata, Bhishma says, when he was lying in his arrow bed, Krishna with all the Pandavas have come there. And seeing them, tears flow from his eyes, and he remarks, Yatra Dharmasuto Raja. Dharmaputra is the king, who is the embodiment of virtue. And assisted by the strongest person, Gadapanir Virkodaraha. Bhima is there to support. Krishno Astri. Here Krishna means Arjuna. Arjuna also has the name Krishna. He is also black in color. So Krishno Astri. Arjuna is the chief archer, soldier. Gandivam Chapam. He has the greatest weapon with him. Not only that, they have the greatest counselor available. Krishna. Suhrit Krishna. He is the friend. Tato Vipat. With all that, every step they are facing some misery. So saying this, Bhishma says, who can dip their intellect into the inscrutable, the unfathomable? Why Bhagavan is doing this? Who will go and ask him? Ko Veda, who will know? But the answer for this is the suffering, the sufferer, all are he only. The suffering is also he, one who suffers, he is also he, and the person who makes you suffer, he is also he. So there is, the moment you come to this non-dual wisdom, the mystery is solved instantaneously. And pleasure is not more blissful than suffering. Sometimes suffering is more blissful, ecstatic than pleasure. Pleasure breeds ego, it nourishes the ego, while suffering kills the ego. So sometimes when the person suffers, deep down there will be ecstasy, peace. It's a mystery. Many people have vouchsafed for this. They have told that the period when we were undergoing great suffering, that was the greatest spiritually fruitful period. When again good days came back, that spiritual state was lost. The peace was lost. So this is a mystery of existence. Sometimes when you suffer, that is what Kunti also says in Bhagavatam. When I was going through suffering, I was constantly having your darshana. And when I am having all prosperity, you are no more here. So whenever difficulty comes, you come. Whenever pleasure and prosperity comes, you go away. So I am ready to welcome difficulty. So that is her words. So this is the mystery. And for those who have taken to the jnana, who have attained jnana, there is only bliss, only happiness from the beginning to the end. Because only after jnana life begins. So, after that there is no suffering. Suffering is only a wave in the ocean of Brahman. Disease is also a wave. Pain is also a wave. Pleasure is also a wave. And another explanation is, all the spiritual teaching was excavated because suffering is there. Somebody goes to the hospital because the disease is there. The hospital person cannot say, no, you cannot come to hospital with the disease. You have to get cured and then come to hospital. Why should you go to hospital? So suffering is there, solution is there. As Buddha said, Parihara, Shoka and Parihara. Shoka Nivritti. So when intensely the person suffers, his mind absorbs it. That is what we were discussing. Subin was saying that even though we know why again we go to the world, because the ignorance hides in three places. in the senses, in the mind and the intellect. So when we come to satsanga, first it is cleared from the intellect, the deepermost plane. From the intellect you know that the world is suffering, dukkha, all that. But the mind has not registered it sufficiently. So the mind again runs to the world. And even if the mind is somewhat made meditative, the senses have habit. So there it hides itself. So all that gets cleared, then the person is called a Jivan Mukta. Otherwise, he knows the truth in the intellect very clearly. He knows the Tattva Jnana is there. But when the same is cleansed from the mind, like the mind is also meditative, the mind is samahita, and the senses have also gained much order, then there is no disturbance for that inner effulgence. Then the person is fully free. Indriyani mano buddhihi asya adhishtanam uchyate. Etair vimohayatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. That jnanam is there, it is being covered by delusion, moha. And the moha arises from the senses, from the mind and in the intellect also. So from all the three spots, to clear it. In the intellect it gets cleared instantaneously and the person is ready. But from the senses and the mind it is only gradual. That is why Vedanta says, if the person is very prepared, that is, in the very beginning itself the senses are all put in order, the mind gains great composure by upasana, then the last bit you get the knowledge in the intellect, the person absolutely becomes free. Baki rendu prepared are. The first gate and second gate are already sufficiently safe. Then from the innermost plane, the ignorance is driven out. The person is free. But mostly, the person will be mediocre. The sensory plane will be disorderly. Not completely, but a little problem will be there. The mind also is not very ekagra, shanta. Somehow the intellect gathers the knowledge, not very clear. Then this question arises. So it will take time. No, that is not that. See, it is not, she is not asking for sorrow. She says, even if you give sorrow to me and take me to God, I will accept. It is not that I want misery. No, I want you. But if you say you can come to me only through misery, then better I will opt for misery than for pleasure. If you can come to me as I am now, well and good. After all, there is no coming or going. The simple fact is, even for an atheist, suffering is there and he needs release from suffering. So when the person suffers, he will want for a solution. There are many countries where there is no religion. And even in the religious world, in religious country like India, many do not bother about God. But all have suffering and they want the mind to rest somewhere. They might not call it God, but even an agnostic person or a Nastika also want a place inwardly, a spot for rest. In Tamil they call Kadavul. The very meaning of that word is enter inside. Ulle Kada. Go within. Kadavul means you turn inward. Or Kadaila irakra ul. It also means to enter the terminus. You turn inward, it is the deepest source inside you. So, when we say only a God as a person, a man or woman, confusion comes. When you say the truth, which can give you freedom, which can give you peace, which can give you true repose, that is needed for everyone. So, Buddhism, you see, there is no God. One of the most spiritual religions, no God. All monks only. And they call nirvana, it's very spiritual. But there they say shoka and freedom from suffering. So you need not ask for suffering. Intelligence is enough. Viveka is what is wanting. You have Viveka, you look around, you see suffering everywhere. Durkham sarvam anusmritya. You think about the past suffering, you see the present suffering, and you can infer the future suffering. And you see how people suffer around. And if the mind can absorb that, the point is the mind has to sufficiently absorb the fact that there is suffering. Otherwise, even if the person goes through the suffering, he will not wake up. You can see Dhritarashtra. All his sons died, all his family was killed, and he is staying with Pandavas whom they wanted to kill, their enemies, and Bhima is giving breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything. Bhagavata says, and this Vidura who went away as sannyasi, he returns to help his elder brother. When he comes here, he is seeing some big phenomenon of ignorance. He is seeing Dhritarashtra who had such suffering around, still the person has not woken up, no dispassion. So, Vidura says, Bhima pavarjitam pindamadatte grihapalavate. He says, Bhima is not giving you lunch, he is giving you pindam. Pindam, you know. What will they translate? That is given to the Pitru mains, the dead people. So it is pindam that is giving, not food. And you are eating it like a dog. Nirgamyadam shigram. Go out of the house. The great fear is around. You wake up, says Vidura. So sometimes we can see that people everywhere. They will cry, they will hit their head and chest when somebody dies. After 10 days again back to the cinema theatre. Forgot everything. Kim kimna vismarantiha maya mohita chetasa. Bhagavata, Shukacharya says, expresses, exclaims, what all the worldly people will not forget. They will forget anything. Any amount of suffering they will forget. Okay, you have to forget so that you can live happily, but you will not learn the lesson from that. Back to the same sewage. So simply by suffering, jnanam will not happen. That is why the Puranas say after death the person is taken to Naraga, put in boiling oil and roasted. Perhaps they are trying whether the person will say Chadimam Tvam Prapannam after putting in the oil at least. Appalam. At least then you will know there is deep suffering. Recently I heard a story of a Vaishnava Mahatma. He had a darshan of a Yamaduta, messenger of Yama. So he was very pleased with this person, this Yamaduta. And this Brahmana says, can you do me some help? Please, whenever Yama is pleased with you, you ask him a favor, a vara, boon. And that is to show me Naraka and Swarga before I am going to die. While I am here. So the story goes, the Mahatma who tells that story, he says it happened like that with a sadhu. So he was taken to the upper world and all the Naraka was shown. Then he asked how to escape from this Naraka. Many things like that. So when you come back with that memory will not be clear, but you remember the pain. That is why, in younger days itself, certain people have so much vairagya. Because last birth misery you remember. A vague memory is there about the pain that is there. Then the person has tremendous dispassion. Then knowledge comes. As Shankaracharya says, you listen once from the Guru, you become a Jivan Mukta. No sadhana, nothing. All the sadhana is there because we don't want God. No, we have to learn concentration. Who learns concentration to look at a movie? 2 hours, full attention, not even blinking the eyes, not turning this side, that side, asana siddhi. No food, nothing, no distraction. Because you have the vasana there and they are showing that, so full attention. When you come for who am I or God, mind goes how to bring it back, bring it back. All this utter foolishness. So whatever you really want, you don't need to learn it from anyone. Naturally the mind goes there. Like that, when you have love for God, dhyana will happen very, very naturally. As in Bhagavata, these Gopikas, they say, we are not able to forget Him. If you can teach us some method by which we can forget Him for some time, that will be good. Ramakrishna used to very often will say, I want to eat sandesh, I want to eat halwa, like that. And they say that was his method to bring his mind down. Otherwise the mind goes there. Our problem is how it will go there. That is the problem.
Yes. So, but like this, it looks like that our vairagya comes not out of love for God, but out of fear of suffering.
See, what is God? You are saying Vairagya is not coming out of love for God, but out of fear of suffering. See, the element God itself comes only for a spiritual person. See, the basic thing is not God. It is suffering. And love always stays in the self, not anywhere else. It is in the Atma only. And the Atma is projected outside as God, then the love comes there. So that naturally, spiritually happens in another way. You see suffering, you are suffering so much, and then you want to come, how I will come out of it? You just give out a cry. Then the Guru appears before you. Some principle comes before you and gives you this teaching by which you will come out of this suffering. Then your whole love goes there. Then you see that Guru, for Bhagavan it was Arunachala. So Arunachala was his Guru and God and everything. So that is true love. When that love arises, then there is no question of suffering. So that is different. So love is a principle which can stay only in the Atman, in the self. And that love goes towards what you call as Ishvara or Ishtadevata, when the same self is projected outside through bhavana. Ishvaro Guruhu Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini. It's all one non-dual principle. So when you say Ishvara, there it goes. So in true love, there is no question of loving someone away from the Atma. So suffering means staying away from the self. That is the thing. And nirvana means coming back to the self. And whoever helps you to come back to the self, you love. And that is bhakti. So suffering also is not true. Suffering is only out of ignorance, you move away from God.
From love.
From love, from Atma, from self. So something pushes you from outside to the center. You call it Guru or you call it God, whatever it might be. And when you are centered again in the self, you find their love, you find their peace, you find their some great fulfillment, compared to which all the outer love are all very, very petty. So there you have release from ignorance. That's all. So from this only all spirituality has come. And this intense suffering in Bhagavan's case appeared as death experience. So one shot he saw that it is unreal. And the self alone is real. That's all. Went through it, came back to the self and took rest there. That's all. Faced the non-existing thing and came back to existence. And sat there. This happened very simple way in his life. We go round. And we also do the same thing. today or tomorrow, we have to do it. We have to experience the intensity of hell so that you will know the value of heaven, that is the self. Anything other than the self, anatma, is hell. Sometimes hell will be very entertaining for some time.